I'm going to start up closer during our initial meditation. But go ahead and find your way onto your back and get into a comfortable place where you can rest back and get quiet and still. Really find your way into your breathing. So close the eyes, begin to breathe in a more conscious way, connecting into your breath as you feel your breath opening, then releasing, settling in. Bringing your mind into that breath space. And as you begin to connect with your breath, envision the cycle of the moon. Observe the cycle of fullness to emptiness in your mind. From fullness, back to emptiness, back to fullness again. Picture the movement of the moon as it waxes to its fullest and then wanes to a sliver. Feel this movement through your breath as you draw into fullness, then release to emptiness. Drawing in, fill up, releasing, let go. Continue to move through this cycle of breath as you connect with the cyclical energy of the moon. So picturing that moon, movement of the moon in your mind, drawing that image into your breath as you connect into your breath. Moving from fullness to emptiness, from emptiness back to fullness. This full moon is known as the pink moon, the first moon of spring, a moon that was named after the pink that comes alive in spring, specifically named after the pink flowers that begin to bloom from the earth this time of the year, signifying rebirth and renewal. After a long, cold, and gray winter, we are heartened by a revitalizing dose of beauty and joy. A reminder that life is a set of ups and downs, a cycle of hibernation and reawakening. Flowers may go away for a while, but they always return, more beautiful than they've ever been before. The color can be appreciated in a new light, having gone without it for a time. A reminder that no matter how ugly life may get, beauty is always right around the corner. And doesn't that hit home right now, right? But knowing that beauty and joy always return and that we can hold that hope and life in our hearts helps us maybe to sit in this time with greater ease. A teacher last week that I listened to called out how this time is drawing us into our feminine field, which is part of both men and women. Most of our culture lives in a masculine field, a fast-moving place of action and doing. Home is a place where we hold feminine energy, a place that's slow, rhythmic. Home is a place to stop and allow ourselves to feel. Collectively, we have all been called home. This is our time to stop and to feel, to tend to the feminine energy field, an opportunity to hit reset by unplugging. Now we can take time to do some cleanup work, And then, when it comes time to plug back in, we can do it with our greatest intention. Use this time to ask, what is true? What is important? With the fullness of the moon, ask, what is complete in my life? What is no longer serving me? What is ready to be released? As we practice this evening, invite the feminine energy of the moon, of the pink, full supermoon. Let it help you to see the full things in you that are ready to be released, to make space for the bright pink flowers that are preparing to bloom within you. Take a few deep breaths, feeling into that space within you. And as you move into your yoga practice, staying connected with this breath, notice what comes up as you've set this intention for meditation on what is complete as you hold this space of the feminine field. And then we'll have space at the end to help release that. All right. So beginning to move, extend your arms above your head so that they're lying on the ground. And then cross your right ankle over the left and let's walk both feet over to the left and then cross your right foot over the left, bringing your arms toward the left as well. So you're creating a crescent moon shape. And then breathe into your right side. Take 2 or 3 deep, full breaths here. And then uncross the legs, walk them over to the right as you move the arms over to the right. Cross the left ankle over the right. And then take 3 deep, full breaths into your left side. Staying connected to that conscious breathing that brings you into your body, connects your mind with your body. Coming back to center, hugging your knees into your chest and just rolling around your lower back, circling in both directions. And then drawing the knees into the chest, open arms up to either side and let both knees release over to the right, coming into a gentle spinal twist. Really expand through your rib cage as you breathe here in the twist, moving more deeply into the pose with your breath. And then inhale, picking your left leg up first, followed by the right, releasing knees to the other side. Again, take 3 deep, full breaths, expanding your rib cage. Feel the softness and the ease that you bring into your body as you breathe. With your next inhale, bring the right knee up first, followed by the left. Setting your left foot down on the ground, cross your right ankle over the top of the left thigh, and then bring your hands through to take a hold of the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin, coming into back release pose. Perhaps bending your right elbow to press it into your inner thigh so that the knee presses away from you, creating a little bit more of an opening. Breathe deeply. Let yourself just luxuriate in the feeling that comes from moving into this pose. With each breath, creating space. And then switching sides, releasing that right leg, setting the right foot down, left ankle crosses over right thigh, reaching through, taking a hold of the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. And then adding that elbow opening by pressing into the left thigh if you need a little bit more. And then breathe deeply. Move into the expanse of your breath. So without trying to focus on any one particular thing, knowing that you set your intention, and as you breathe and move, what needs to come to you will come. One more deep, full breath here. And then releasing, opening up into happy baby pose. Taking a hold of the inside arches of the feet, bringing the knees down toward the armpits as you also lower the back toward the ground. Knowing that neither one has to come all the way to the ground, but just working in both those directions and then finding that opening in between. Close the eyes and take a few deep breaths. On your next exhale, release, setting the feet on the ground, measuring for bridge. So reaching down, letting your fingertips graze the heels or come slightly past them. Palms face up toward the ceiling. Feel the connection between the soles of the feet and the earth. Take a deep inhale, and on your exhale, curl your pubic bone toward your belly button, gently beginning to lift lower back, then middle back, then upper back off the ground. Keep your feet firmly planted and turn your legs on, really making your legs strong here. So you have this really rooted connection to the earth. And then from that, pull your chest toward your chin as you breathe in so that you're creating this extension through the torso, through the spine. Keep curling your pubic bone toward your belly button. Lift the rib cage toward your head as you breathe in. So you're telescoping the rib cage toward your face. The shoulders and arms stay relaxed. Stay planted through the entire foot of both feet. Take 3 more deep breaths. On your next inhale, float the arms up alongside the ears onto the floor. And on your next exhale, bit by bit, releasing vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down, releasing your pelvis at the very last. And then bringing the soles of the feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana on the back. Reaching down, pressing your hands into the hip creases. The fingers are wrapping under, so they're facing the ground. The thumbs wrapped on top. And then you press your thighs away from you. Really getting a good grasp on the legs. They're up right next to the hip crease. And then you press down and create a little bit of traction through your lower back. So keep the back in a really natural curvature here, rather than trying to press the lower back into the ground so that you can feel that traction. Keep telescoping the rib cage toward your face as you breathe here for 3 more deep breaths. Creating space with each breath, with each pose. Space to allow flow. Flow of nourishment, blood flow, oxygen coming from the breath, flow of ideas, and then releasing that press, bringing the knees into the chest, rolling to one side, and then pressing yourself up, coming onto hands and knees. And we'll just begin moving into cat-cow. So you're inhaling, lifting up, and as you exhale, round the back and pull the belly in. And moving with your own breath here, finding that cat-cow flow. Breathing in as you lift the chest and the sit bones up. Breathing out as you round and arch the back, pulling the belly in. Maybe you're adding a little bit of that flow here. You can come into some hip circles, drawing your shoulder to your hip, around, moving in both directions, letting your body move here with your breath, with movement that feels good to you. Letting it flow from what you need from this moment in this pose. 3 more deep breaths. And then walk the hands a little bit forward, and we'll move a little bit more into a flow here. You'll arch, lift up as your shoulders come over the wrists, and then round back all the way into child's pose. As you come forward, squeeze elbows in toward each other, bending them and squeezing them in to pull the chest through, lift up, and then round, arch the back, sitting back. We'll just do this a few times. The elbows squeeze in as you pull forward, lifting up and breathing in. And then exhale, arch through the back, round it, pull belly in, sitting all the way back. 2 more times. And then finding your way back to tabletop. And inhale, the right arm reaches up reaching up toward the sky, and then float that right arm behind the left wrist, coming down onto the shoulder. Press the left hand into the ground to deepen the twist, but continue to draw the right hip back. Breathing here, just releasing onto the shoulder, finding that twist by pressing your left hand into the ground. On your next inhale, press into the left hand, lifting back up, reaching out through that right hand, and then setting the right hand back down on the ground. Inhale, reaching up through the left arm. On your exhale, floating it behind the right wrist, coming onto that left shoulder, and then press into the right hand to deepen the twist. Check out if the hips have come forward with you and draw them back into alignment. Usually that right hip wants to come up by the right shoulder. So just pulling it back as you press into the hand to deepen the twist. Breathing deeply. Notice that the bigger you can make your breath, the more you feel into the pose. On your next inhale, float that left arm back up. On exhale, setting it down. And then inhale, lifting the right leg up and extending straight back, feeling that hip opening. And then if you'd like to add on from there, lift the left arm up. So you're extending through opposite leg and arm. And often what happens is the lower back wants to hold some of this, so the belly pulls down. Instead, lifting up through the lower back here. Feel that lift and you'll feel your core engage. And take 3 or 4 deep breaths, reaching in both directions, keeping your core really turned on by lifting the lower back up toward the ceiling as you breathe. On your exhale, set the left hand down, the right toes down, and then press back through the right heel, creating an extension and opening through the back of the right leg. And then on your next exhale, set that right knee down. Inhale, left leg lifts up. Perhaps you lift the right arm as well, and find that extension in both directions. So you feel your shoulder and hip joints opening up as you reach in both directions. And then check in with your lower back. If you've compromised there at all, lifting up through the lower back, really engaging the core. Not that front sheath of your abdomen, but the back, the core that really protects your spine here. Take a few deep breaths. Keep the breath turned on. Match the intensity of the pose to your breath. So as the poses increase in intensity, increase the intensity of your breath. On your next exhale, set the right hand down, set the left toes down, and then press back through the left heel. Taking a couple deep breaths into the opening of your calf. And then on your next exhale, set that left knee down. From there, let's go ahead and come up to standing, moving into moon salutations. So you can come to the left side of your mat, bringing your hands to your heart. Close your eyes for just a moment. And then on your inhale, draw your arms up, interlace your fingers so your index fingers are pointing up. On an exhale, release over to the left. Inhale, reach straight up. Exhale, then over to the right. Inhale, straight up. And on exhale, open up into goddess pose. Take a deep, full breath here. And then as you exhale, turning your your left toes to point toward the left edge of the mat, coming into triangle. So your feet are 3 to 4 feet apart. Heel of your right foot is lined up with the back foot. Extend out through the left fingertips, setting your left hand down on your shin or a block if you have it, and then reach the right arm straight up. Really feel for extending through your left side. So instead of rounding, you're seeing how long can you make it by sending your hips back, sending your chest and crown of the head forward. Keep lifting up through the right quadricep, protecting your knee and hip joints. And then on your next exhale, turning toward your left leg, coming into pyramid pose. This might look like this for you, or it might look like coming up, squaring the hips forward and hinging. So finding where this is right for you. If you have blocks, you can also set blocks down here, or you can forward fold. Finding your place and taking a few deep breaths. On your next exhale, setting your right knee down. And then inhaling up into lunge. Take a full deep breath, reaching out as you press the hips forward. And then on your exhale, hands come down. And you're turning both toes to point toward the front, but staying bent in the left knee. Walk the hands forward. Inhale, lift up through the chest. And then as you exhale, walk the hands back into straddle forward fold. Sink into the right knee. Walk the hands forward. Inhale, pull the chest through. Exhale, round. Walking your hands all the way over to the right. Left knee comes down. Inhale, up into lunge. And then on your next exhale, you're finding your way into your pyramid pose, setting that left foot down on the ground at an angle, and then lifting up through the left quadricep. Again, maybe you're in that forward fold, and maybe you're lifting up and extending out over the left leg from a standing position. But find your place, and then breathe deeply. Knowing that where you are in this pose is exactly where you're meant to be. Exactly what you need. And then planting your left hand on a block or on your left shin and rolling your right arm up or your left hand up toward the ceiling. And again, feel for that length through the right side of your body. As you extend up toward the ceiling, really open up through your left hand. Keep reaching the hips back, extending the crown of the head away from the hips. Another deep, full breath. And then on your next inhale, come all the way up, and on exhale, sink down into your goddess pose. On inhale, step all the way over to the right, reaching up, interlacing fingers, extending out through index fingers. On your exhale, extend over to the left. Inhale, come up to center, over to the right. Inhale, up to center. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Inhale, sweeping up. Interlace fingers, exhale to the right. Inhale, straight up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, open up into goddess pose. And then turning toward the right into crescent pose. Coming up onto the back toes, and then sinking the hips forward, bending into the front knee. Opening arms up, and then on your exhale, bringing hands down, right or left knee comes down. Sinking into your lunge. So your hands can stay on the floor here. We're going to move into a little bit of a flow. If you're on the floor, you're lifting, pulling the chest through, and then rounding through the back. If you'd like to come up, arms reach up, and then on your exhale, elbows squeeze toward each other, shoulder blades toward each other as you exhale. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, squeezing shoulder blades and elbows down. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, elbows, shoulder blades squeeze together. Releasing hands, pointing both toes toward the front. Walk the hands forward, you're staying bent into the right knee. Inhale, pull the chest through. Exhale, round, straightening both legs, coming through center, bending into left. Walk hands forward, inhale, pull chest through, lift chest up. Exhale, round, and find your way into your lunge on the other side. So right knee comes down, hands down the floor or come up, and you'll take that deep inhale Inhale, pulling the chest through. On exhale, drawing shoulder blades, elbows together. Inhale, reaching up or pulling through. Exhale, shoulder blades, elbows squeeze together. One more time. Inhale, pull through. And exhale, find that shoulder blade, elbow squeeze. And setting hands down, finding your way back into your crescent position, lifting arms up, taking a full deep breath here. And then one more inhale. And on your exhale, opening up into goddess pose. And then on your next inhale, stepping all the way to the left, interlacing fingers. On your exhale, move to the right. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, to the left. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Inhale, sweeping up. Interlace fingers, exhale to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, opening into goddess pose. And then turning to your left, finding warrior one. So you'll want to step that right foot open laterally so that you can make enough space between your feet for your hips to square toward the left side of your mat. So finding that warrior one position. And then on your exhale, bring your elbows down into your rib cage. I'm going to face you for this so you can see what I'm doing, but stay in your warrior one. So your elbows and arms are glued into your ribs. Take a deep inhale, and then on your exhale, open up and feel the shoulder blades squeeze back toward each other as your elbows stay locked into your ribs. And then you inhale, hand over hand. Exhale, find that shoulder rotation as your elbows stay locked in. Inhale, hand over hand. One more time, you exhale, drawing elbows in, squeeze shoulder blades together. And then exhale, release, bringing hands down, sliding your right foot back for high lunge, and then set your right hand down, open up through the left for a twist. Taking a couple deep breaths here, just letting your body sink into the twist. Breathe deeply. And on your next exhale, bringing that left hand down, stay bent into the left knee as you turn toes to face the front. Walk hands forward, take a deep inhale. Exhale, round, legs straight and bend into that right leg. Hands walk forward, inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, moving over, keeping that left leg lifted, plant the left hand and open up through the right. Coming into that twist. So sink down into your lunge. Let yourself open up. Keep the breath really moving, flowing through you. Let that be all there is. On your next exhale, set that right hand down, plant your back foot for warrior one. Again, create enough of that lateral distance so as you come up, you can square your pelvis toward the right edge of the mat. Inhale, arms reach up, and then exhale, glue your elbows in by your sides. Take a deep inhale, and then on your exhale, rotate arms out, keeping those elbows glued into your rib cage. You inhale, hand over hand. Exhale, glued in, rotate open. Really good for the shoulder joints. Inhale one more time, hand over hand. Exhale, keep those elbows glued in, squeezing back. And then inhale, arms open up. Exhale into your goddess pose. Inhale to the right edge of the mat, reaching up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, straight up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, straight up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, coming into goddess pose. Take a deep, full breath here. And then turning your right toes to point toward the right edge of the mat. Angle in your left foot. So you come into warrior two. Sinking into your right knee. And then reach back with your left hand, setting it down, coming into your reverse warrior. Taking a deep, full breath. And then releasing just the right arm to find a neck release. So you're keeping your left ear released toward the left shoulder. Take a deep, full breath into the right side of your neck. And then pulling yourself up. Bringing hands down, point both toes toward the front, and then walk the hands forward as you stay bent into the right, pulling chest through. Exhale, round, move to the other side, bend into the left. Hands walk forward, pulling chest through. And then round, finding your way into warrior two on the other side. So left toes point toward the left edge of the mat, sink into the left knee, coming all the way up. The left heel of the foot lines up with the right arch of the foot, sinking down. And then as you're ready, exhale into reverse warrior. So keep sinking into that left knee as you reach to the right. And then on your next exhale, release the arm, keeping yourself in the reverse warrior position, but let that left arm open up so you find that neck release. Breathe into the left side of your neck. And then on your next inhale, pull yourself up through to center. On exhale, sink into goddess pose. Inhale, step all the way to the left, interlace fingers. Exhale to the right. Inhale, straight up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Inhale, sweeping up, interlace fingers. Exhale to the right. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale into your goddess pose. And then turning to the left, bringing your hands down and coming into pigeon. So you're planting that left knee onto the ground and then opening the left foot up to whatever degree feels right for you. And then plant the hands in front of you and inhale, pull the chest through, take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, walking the hands forward. Again, what feels right for you today? Maybe you're staying on your hands, maybe you're coming to your forearms, maybe you're extending all the way out. Find pigeon pose that feels good for you. And then breathe there. Let your belly open up with each breath. Really breathing into your lower back. Another deep breath or two. And then as you begin to walk your hands back up, just sitting back onto your right hip and making your way into straddle position on the floor. So opening the legs up, extending out through the balls of the feet, and then bringing your left hand to the inside of the left leg, bend the left elbow, pressing your left elbow into your leg or your left wrist into your leg so that you can really open up through the chest, reach up through the right hand, and then let the right arm fall open behind you and just let your left ear come releasing over to the left shoulder. And then turn on your breath. Really engage with it in a way that brings you into this present moment, that brings you into your body in a deeper way, in a more conscious way. And then let the pose unfold. So you can get really curious about what's happening with each inhale. How is it shifting with each exhale? Let that curiosity pull back each layer of the pose. On your next exhale, bringing that right hand down and then placing a hand on either side of your left leg, coming into a twisted forward fold. So just let your elbows bend, your head release, and it's not about trying to get to any depth necessarily, just letting your body let go. And maybe as you breathe, you soften, you pull back another layer, you're able to walk yourself out a little bit more. Pay attention to those subtle shifts that happen with each breath. That's where the magic is. Two more deep breaths, maybe letting go a little bit more through the back of the neck. Maybe expanding through the rib cage a little bit more. And then on your inhale, walking yourself over to the right leg, planting that right hand to the inside of the leg. Maybe the wrist is pressing into the leg. Maybe you're bending the elbow and it's the forearm, the elbow that's pressing into the leg. But either way, you're finding a point of leverage so that you can really open up through the chest, extending up through that left hand and then letting it fall open behind you. Breathing deeply and letting your head release to the side. So maybe you're getting a little bit of neck opening in there too. Keep your feet nice and active. Engage with the breath. Two more deep, nourishing breaths. And then on your next exhale, releasing that left arm, bringing a hand to either side of the right leg and letting yourself release into that twisted forward fold, letting go through the back of the neck, bending into the elbows, maybe walking the hands out. Finding your point of initial release, and then breathe and see what happens. Three more deep breaths. And then on your next exhale, just walk your hands toward the center, coming into a forward fold toward the center of your mat, extending the hands out. And we'll take 3 or 4 deep breaths here. Let go through the back of the neck. And expand that space between the shoulder blades as you breathe. Keep feeling for tilting the pelvis forward. So notice if you're sinking back into the lower back. 2 more deep breaths. And then on your next inhale, walking yourself back up through to center. And bringing your hands up to your face, we'll do just a couple releases of your jaw muscle. So you're bringing the heel of your hand right under the thumb to the point of right where your cheekbone meets your ear. And finding that muscle that runs between the cheekbone down to the corner of the jaw. And so on an inhale, you'll press in, and then as you exhale, draw the heel of your hand down the sides of the face, letting your jaw open up. Just feel that gentle massage through that jaw muscle. We'll do that a few times. So as you inhale, bring your heel of your hand back up to the top of that line, press in, and then as you exhale, draw the heels of your hand down the sides of the face. Good. Do that one more time. And then releasing. It's a great one to just relieve jaw tension if you notice you're clenching your jaw a lot. And then making your way to the other side for pigeon. So you can walk your hands over and set up from the floor, bringing the knee out to the side and then finding that opening of your right foot. And then making sure your hips are squared up over the floor. So notice if you're really sinking down onto your left hip. Sometimes it's nice to put a pillow or a blanket under that hip if you have one handy. Take a deep inhale and then moving forward to your own degree. Maybe you're walking just out your hands, maybe you're coming onto your forearms, maybe you're extending all the way out, bringing your head to the ground. And then just move into that deep breath. Expand that space between the shoulder blades. Notice where you're feeling this. Breathe into that space. So you're naturally guided to where you want your attention, where your attention needs to be. You stay in the breath and tune into that guidance that comes from a very wise place within you. Three more deep breaths. And then on your next inhale, walking your hands up, and you'll sit all the way down onto your left hip. Bring that onto your right hip, bring that left leg around. And then let's come all the way down onto the back. Crossing the left leg over the right, and then taking a hold of your legs somewhere along the line. So working them down as close to your ankles as you can. And then you'll draw your knees in toward your chest as you pull the legs apart. So your left leg's over the right, stacked up, knees coming in, and then the heels pulling away from each other. Take a few deep breaths here. And then on your next exhale, extend out through the right leg, hug the left knee into your chest. Take a deep inhale, and then on your exhale, let that left knee come all the way across your body. See if you can make contact with the floor or a pillow, even if it means that you have to lift up through the left side of the body in order to do so. Once you find a grounded place for that left knee, then let your left arm open up away from you. The shoulder may or may not come down. You can always bring your hand into your rib cage if it feels like it's too much opening on the shoulder. And then 3 deep breaths. On your next inhale, bringing that left knee up first, followed by the right, and then crossing the right leg this time over the left, pulling the knees in toward the chest. As you pull the legs apart, the lower legs apart, so opposite feet are coming toward opposite shoulder. As the knees draw in, you take a few deep breaths here. And then on your next inhale, bringing the right knee in toward your chest, left leg extends out. Take another inhale, drawing that right knee in, and then on your exhale, moving the right knee across the body, and finding contact, if you can, with the right knee on the floor or a pillow or a blanket, and then let that right shoulder come up as much as you need to. So you might even be close to lying on your side. And then you're twisting away from that foundation, the knee planted. Maybe your hand stays into your rib cage, maybe it floats all the way out, depending on what feels best for you. Finding your way into this twist and then breathing deeply for a few deep breaths. And then on your next inhale, bringing that right knee up first, followed by the left, hugging the knees in toward your chest, making circles around the low back in both directions, a couple times in each direction. Hugging the knees in, take a deep inhale, and then on your exhale, extending out, finding Shavasana. Doing what you need to do to find comfort, knowing that you're moving into a longer Shavasana than normal. Maybe you're putting a sweater on or putting a blanket over you, putting a pillow under your head, a bolster under your knees. Taking a moment to get comfortable. Finding your way back into your position with your palms facing up. And as you still your body, feel the support of the earth beneath you. Wrap yourself in this stillness, in this supported space. And invite anything that no longer serves you to release. And find a place where you can be in surrender, where you can surrender to this release, to just let it go into the earth. As anything comes up, envision it flowing out of you and seeping into the earth like water would. Breathe and surrender.